Hey everybody, it's Bo Benjamin here with Bo Benjamin Realty Group, powered by EXP, and today we are talking about commissions and how they work. So this is a very important topic, but not a lot of people talk about it for fear of getting in trouble. Let's just be honest. People can't talk about commissions under the antitrust rules. And what is that in layman's term? If you think about two gas stations, and they're the only two gas stations in like 100 miles, and they're sitting on the side of the road on a decently heavy traveled road, and then the owners get together and say, hey, we're the only people in 100 miles. If instead of competing with each other and trying to drive our price down, let's collude in an antitrust type nature and set our gas at $10 a gallon. People won't have another option, and they'll just be $10 and $10, and whichever one they stop at gets the business. That's called antitrust, collusion, etc. That is what they're talking about. So what they're saying by talking about commissions, real estate agents, if one person knows what the other one charges, and then that person knows what they charge, and then they talk enough and they figure out, hey, if we just charge this, then neither one of us will have to negotiate with the consumers out there, then it's considered collusion antitrust. That is not what this video is about. I'm not going to sit here and talk about what I charge or what you should charge. That's not what it is. We're talking about how it works in the industry so that it's out there and you understand. If you're looking to become a realtor, then you can understand how to even make a living, right? That's what this video is about. So let's jump straight in, and I'm going to flip over here to the contract. So this is an Indiana Association of Realtors contract, and it talks about the broker's commission. This is a listing contract that you would have a seller sign. When you go down, it says under broker's commission, sellers shall pay in cash US dollars to the broker. Mind you, remember, this is the broker. The realtor negotiates this, but they're working for a broker, EXP in my instance, for services, a total commissions as follows. So you can put a number here. Whatever your marketplace charges and you negotiate between you and the seller, you put here. This is the total number. I'm going to use outlandish examples that could no way, shape, or form be possible to be considered collusion. So if you say, I'm going to charge 50% of the selling price of your house, I'm pretty sure you won't get any business. Pretty sure that's not colluding, because that's crazy. So 50% of the selling price of the house, but not less than. This is, for example, if you're selling a house for $1,000, well, then it's going to be $500. That's not enough to live off of, maybe. So you put, I need at least $750 to do my job. The key is this part down here, line 93. Seller has been advised of broker's cooperative compensation policy. What does that mean? Typically in MLS systems around the country, the broker's cooperative compensation policy means that the seller will pay a percentage and negotiate a percentage of their home sale in commission. In order to incentivize buyer's agents to bring buyers to this home listing and show it and try to sell it to their buyers, it is usually an advertised amount of that top of number one up here, line 84, number one. So in my example, the crazy example, I said 50%. Well, I could come down here and say, including the amount of compensation will be offered, which is blank percent of the selling price. And then again, it's got this, but not less than. If this is 50%, and then I wanted to give half of the 50% for say 25% of the selling price, I could do that, and that way the buyer's agent will get paid at the time they bring the buyer and the transaction closes. It's all negotiable with you and your customers, but as a seller in Indiana, you now understand that you're getting charged a commission, and that a portion of that in the second part is going to be paid to the buyer's agent. The listing agent that you're hiring directly is not getting the full amount up top unless that second section is filled in as zero. That's how it works. As the listing agent, if you're trying to figure out how I'm making a living as a realtor in this business, you now see that you have to negotiate with sellers how much you're going to charge, and then you typically have to give a portion of that to buyer's agents. So whatever's left over is yours to keep. Now, if you're a buyer's agent, it's always going to be listed in your local MLS that you're a part of what each home has for a buyer's compensation. So you know going in, if you make an offer on that home, it should say at the bottom of the MLS, in your local MLS, that you'll get paid that much. And that is to compensate you for your time driving the buyers around, maybe showing 10, 20, 30 houses. I've shown 40 houses to a buyer before, and that's a lot of time, and you need to be compensated for that time and that energy. You're doing comps, you're doing research on each one, presumably. So you're helping the buyer buy, and that's compensation for that. And as we went over, it is strictly negotiated between the listing agent and the seller, okay? So one main question that I had when I first became a realtor, as well as most people have, why is it set up this way? It seems weird. The buyer's agent's paid by the seller. How does that work, and how does that affect the whole process? A lot of people are like, that's silly. Why do we do that? And some people at different companies and organizations say, well, we've always done it that way. So instead of just accepting it's always been done that way, I ask why, and I kept asking why until someone gave me a decent enough answer. And when I became a realtor and asked that question a number of times, I came across someone that was well informed, been in the industry many, many years, and they said, well, think of it this way. If the buyers are entering the first-time home buying market, which is probably one of the most critical aspects of the whole real estate market, if they're already having to get a down payment for a loan and pay some lending fees and title fees, if you add on another fee, commission for an agent where they're paying their agent directly, then that is really going to be a huge additional roadblock to first-time ownership, home ownership, which is critical, I would say, to well-being of families, well-being of our society, and so many other things. And we already have a lot of people that rent because they think it's too much. So when they told me that, I was like, oh yeah, so it's good that we have this system, because the buyer doesn't pay it directly out of their pocket. It may be paid in the price they're paying, and that's the debate, but they're not paying it specifically out of their pocket, since the seller's paying the listing agent and it's split with the buyer's agent, so the buyer doesn't incur that fee. And here's the deal. Anytime you buy a house, you're going to sell it eventually. So you buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, and then when you sell the last time, you're selling and you're paying the buyer back. It's a full circle of life. So if that's a good explanation for you and that helps you, I'm happy for that, because I don't think that's talked about enough in the industry and really in the public as well. I think it's a good system the way it is. For that reason, I think first-time home buyer is a huge piece of the puzzle that makes this all work and makes our society and our world work. So I personally think it's a good system knowing those details. So I hope that helped you out. I hope it helps you understand how realtors can make a living if you're a realtor watching this, and buyers and sellers incur the cost of selling and buying, etc. So if you have any questions, please ask them in the comments below. If this was informative, please like and subscribe to our channel. We appreciate that very much, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.